Inferno, Canto 26. Dante reproaches Florence in an ironical strain, on meeting with 5 of his countrymen among the thieves. Remounting the steps which his poets had descended on the 7th gulf, they proceed to that arch that stretches over the 8th, and from thence behold numerous flames, in which are punished evil counselors, Diomed and Ulysses. The latter relates his adventures and the manner of his death.
Exalt, O Florence, in so great a fame. Your wings are waving over land and sea, and e'en through hell resounds your mighty name. Among the robbers I discovered 5, your citizens. 5 such, it shameth me, nor great the reputation you derive. But if as morning rises dreams are true, ere long you shall experience all the ill that Prato and your neighbors wish for you. Were it arrived, 'twould give my mind relief. I wish it were, since come at last it will. As age advances, more will be my grief. Departing, we ascend a staircase rude, carved in the rock down which we lately went. My guide proceeded, I his steps pursued. Wending our way, thus desolate and lone, mid rugged crags and dire impediment, we grasped with feet and hands the jutting stone. Then did I grieve, and now I grieve again, when I consider what there met mine eyes, and more than I am wont, my mind restrained, lest uncontrolled by virtue it be driven, and I abuse those better qualities, or favoring star, or higher power hath given. What time the sun least hides his glorious face, and with his lustre gilds the glowing sky, when to the gnat the buzzing fly gives place, as many fireflies as the rustic sees, down in the vale where field and vineyard lie, whilst on the hill his limbs recline at ease, with flames so numerous shone, all gleaming bright, the 8th abyss, as I discerned when near we drew, and of the bottom gained a sight, as he whose wrongs did savage bears resent, beheld from earth depart Elijah's car, by fiery steeds borne up heaven's steep ascent. And as its course he followed with his eye, naught could perceive except the flame alone, ascending like a little cloud on high. So moved each flame at the entrance of the cave, and none its prey disclosed, yet every one a furtive shelter to some sinner gave. When looking down I bent me o'er the bridge, though none impelled, I should have fallen below, had I not firmly grasped a rocky ridge. My guide, who saw me thus attentive, cried, "Within the fires are spirits racked by woe, who in this scorching garb their persons hide." "Master," I said, "thy words have from my mind all doubt removed. That so it was erewhile I fancied, and to tell thee felt inclined. Whose flame is that before us cleft in twain, which seems as if uprising from the pile, where lay Eteocles from his brothers slain?" "Ulysses," answered he, "and Diomed within are tortured, and with equal course hastened to pain, as erst to wrath they sped, pent in one flame. The treacherous horse they rue, that fatal ambuscade, and destined source, from which their noble seed the Romans drew. There mourn the fraud, whence through bereft of life, Didymia doth Achilles wail, and Troy's Palladium too augments their grief. If they within the fires may speak," I cried, "I pray thee now, and let this prayer avail, this single prayer for 1,000 prayers beside. Here for a while thy progress to delay, until the horned flame approached nigh. Behold how anxiously I bend that way." To me he answer gave, "Full well thy prayer deserves my praise, and therefore I comply. But from addressing them thyself forbear, me be mine to speak, for I already know what thou wouldst say. These Grecians in their pride might not on thee perhaps their words bestow." Then when the flame was seen that place to reach, which seemed appropriate to my faithful guide, in words like these I heard him frame his speech: "Ye spirits twain within one fire contained, your gratitude, however slight the share, if e'er while living on earth I gained, what time I sung my lofty minstrelsy, here tarry, and let one of you declare, where self-devoted he lay down to die." The larger horn of that old flame began to curl itself, and then in murmurs broke, in like a fire that laboring breezes fan, and now the summit wavering here and there, as though it were a living tongue that spoke, threw forth a voice which burst upon mine ear. On leaving Circe, who detained me more than 12 full months, Gaeta's headland near, ere yet Aeneas thus had named the shore, nor fondness for my son, nor care for thee, my aged sire, nor loves were quite ill dear. To fill with joy thy heart, Penelope, could in my mind the strong desire arrest to learn experience in the affairs of man, what virtues and what vices rule his breast, o'er the deep waters of the boundless main. In one lone bark my course I dauntless ran, with the few faithful friends that formed my train. As far as Spain I either coast descried, far as Morocco and Sardinia's shore, and other isles washed by that circling tide. Aged and slow, our manly strength impaired, now onward to that distant strait we bore, where Hercules his pillars hath upreared. Lest man presume to pass the barrier dread, Seville was left behind us on our right. On the other hand was Ceuta lost in shade. Comrades, I said, who now have reached the west, and won your way through perils infinite, short is the space ere all will be at rest. Let each then rouse his drooping energies, that land without inhabitants to find, still unexplored, which to the westward lies. Bear your illustrious origin in view, for not to live like brutes were ye designed, but knowledge high and virtue to pursue. This brief oration to my comrades made availed so much their ardour to excite, it could not afterwards have been allayed. When we had turned the poop to face the east, we strained our oars to wing our foolish flight, and thus proceeding gained upon the west. The stars that o'er the other pole are spread, that night I saw, while ours was so depressed. It rose not higher than the ocean's bed. 5 times the moon had shed her brightest ray, as oft was robbed of her transparent vest, since first we entered on our mighty way. When dim in distance reared its brow on high, a mountain, which now bursting on our view, appeared the loftiest that e'er met mine eye. Great was our joy, a joy soon turned to woe, for rushing from the land unknown and new, a whirlwind sprang, and stuck the vessel's prow. Thrice did it drive the ship and waters round, the poop ascended as the 4th wave rose, the prow lay buried in the depth profound, and o'er our heads heaven bade the sea to close.